I wanted to take a moment to recognize the passing of my mother, Emily Brzezinski. I've heard from so many people around the world, just overwhelmed with beautiful letters, emails, and texts. Thank you so much. This week, my family and I said goodbye to Bamba. In Islesford, Maine, there's a tiny church on a tiny island, and for decades, my dad and mom loved to go there by boat to celebrate Mass or quiet moments together. My mother, a sculptor, was deeply connected with nature and spent some of her most favorite moments alone in nature, finding trees and old trunks to work on as an artist. With her chainsaw and axe, she spent decades working on her art, revealing the secret shapes of trees, to ultimately become a world-class sculptor with massive pieces featured today at museums, galleries, and public locations around the world. But for Ian, Mark, and me, she was Mom. She taught us the tangible feeling of fulfillment that comes from building something with your hands. Joe actually asked me and my brothers about our favorite memories with our mom, and it was always about creation. Building barns, chicken houses, fences, maple syrup shacks, crazy cakes, papier-mâché science projects, Halloween masks, bunny hutches, gardens, rebuilding boats piece by piece, and of course, always going back to her studio to fulfill the vision of her sculptures. The sculptures mixed nature and emotion, from lament to Ukraine trunk. She captured powerful emotions and taught us all about the profound impact of art. After so many amazing memories flooded out, we discovered we couldn't think of one thing, Joe, that she bought for us at a store ever. I will say, except for secondhand clothes that she bought for us. And that was something that you brought out during our conversation at the dinner table.
Yeah, it really was remarkable. I had, when we had dinner together after the funeral, which was really extraordinary and perfect, I asked Ian and Mark and you, what were your favorite moments? And Ian had so many, as did Mark and you, but had so many that I couldn't believe the great detail that she went into, how she threw, as you and Mark and Eve said, she threw everything at being your parent. She left everything, as to use a sports analogy, on the field, talking about rebuilding a canoe with you all and getting planks and getting hot water from the kitchen boiling and going out and wrapping it around barrels. And but there are 1,000 different stories like that. When they were making Paramus Mall, I guess, and they were are blowing up an area around Paramus Mall, and Ian was he was really into rocks. Really into rocks. And your mother taking him out after the workers left and driving out there and picking through rock by rock, piece by piece. It really was incredible. That dinner was a perfect tribute to your mom and just how she did so many things for you all. But I've got to say, too, the funerals, Mika, your father, we all said goodbye to him at the most stately of cathedrals, you know, the Cathedral of St. Matthew, and you had a president there and ambassadors, cabinet members, the leaders of Washington and the country there. And that was perfect for your dad. It fit him perfectly. But for your mom, here we were, just a few people, a handful of people in this small church, as you said, on a small island. And I just sat there thinking, this is exactly what Bamba would want. Your parents, a remarkable contrast. And the way that we all said goodbye to her, the world said goodbye to her and your father, it just fits them perfectly.
For my mom, it was all about the creative process, and we got to celebrate that very privately. I used to ask out loud why my parents always made things so hard. But the process itself was the beauty of my mother, because it was so enjoyable and so fulfilling. All of my mother's pieces, no matter how arched or leaning or heavy, some of them several tons, stand on their own. She had an engineer's mind, and she raised Ian, Mark, and me that way, teaching us, building us to stand on our own. We'll be right back.